We have reports that Mexico has stopped that caravan of immigrants trying to get to the United States, or certainly moving through Mexico. Meanwhile, President Trump is blaming Democrats for letting DACA die. Senator Dianne Feinstein says that's not true. Here's her tweet. President Trump is absolutely wrong on DACA. He unilaterally rescinded DACA for no reason and has rejected every single bipartisan proposal that would protect dreamers from deportation. It's simply false to say that Democrats walked away from the table. Well, joining us now is Kellyanne Conway, counselor to President Trump. Kellyanne, welcome to the program. It's good to see you back again. Would you give us your response to Senator Feinstein?
Yes, well, respectfully, Senator Feinstein is an error in that particular statement. The president literally brought Democrats and Republicans from the House and the Senate to the table in the cabinet room, 55-plus minutes. The whole world saw it live and unfiltered. And the president made very clear that he was willing to have a disposition of not just the 600,000 DACA recipients who had come forth, but the 1.8 million or so who would be qualified under that particular action. It's President Obama who took the action unilaterally by himself. He didn't even put it to the Senate, to Congress, because he knew it probably would never pass. This Congress had 9 months in 2017 to do something. Stuart, like many other issues, they failed. The president gave them another 6 months, still failed. And this president made a very simple request. On his way to a merit-based immigration system, to ending catch and release, to funding our ICE agents and our border security, he wants the funding for the wall, the $25 billion for the wall in exchange for DACA. What the Democrats offered was inadequate, and they know it. So saying that the president walked away from a bad deal, this is Donald Trump. He's the master negotiator, communicator, and deal maker. He's not going to accept a bad deal that completely upends what he's promised with respect to protecting our national sovereignty and keeping the poison, the drugs out of our communities and people who shouldn't be here out of our nation as well. Goodness, Mexico, look what's happening with the caravan. Secretary Nielsen is working with her Mexican counterparts to come up with a great deal, come up with a great solution. And yet Mexico has a problem in their own southern border with people illegally entering, and they're taking action there. We just can't have people always flouting our national sovereignty by disrespecting our border. This is simple.
Another one for you, Kellyanne. President Trump continues to go after Amazon. He earlier tweeted this one. I'm going to read it for our audience. I'm right about Amazon costing the United States Post Office massive amounts of money for being their delivery boy. Amazon should pay these costs plus and not have them borne by the American taxpayer. Many billions of dollars. Post Office leaders don't have a clue, or do they? What's the end game here, Kellyanne, with regards to Amazon?
The president's making a very simple point here, which is that the Postal Service, as we know, was created about 200 years ago for a nation that is very different than the one we have now, the way we communicate and receive and disseminate information and services, obviously, and packages for that matter. But what the president's point is that that Amazon does rely upon the U.S. Postal Service, which is a government entity, subsidized government entity, to help it deliver its packages. You've got many other companies in this country that have built their own infrastructure, own private fleet services, for example, and that's very expensive. And so I think what the president is talking about is the same type of fairness that he always addresses. He ran on fairness when it comes to immigration and trade and school choice and taxation. And in this case, he just wants there to be fair play. And that really is what the president is talking about here. He's very concerned that Amazon, that the Postal Service is being used as a private delivery service as well.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to a report we had earlier this morning that condo and co-op sales in Manhattan are way, way down. This is clearly the result of a reaction to the new tax law, which really penalizes high-tax blue states. Was that deliberate? Did you deliberately
I disagree with that. I lived in Manhattan for a very long time and was an owner in Manhattan for a long time, Stuart. I think it's a reaction to Mayor de Blasio and his left-of-center policies, economic and otherwise. The governor of New York is a big tax and spender. That is a state where up in Albany and certainly there in Manhattan in the 5 boroughs, you've got a mayor of New York City and a state government that never made a tax they haven't liked. It's a very liberal state, which is all about taxing and spending. They won't even allow hydraulic fracturing. They won't allow energy development. Look at all that could be done upstate in New York to create jobs and to free up that energy, and yet the people are going over the border into Pennsylvania to find that kind of work. It's been reported. So that's a reaction to progressive liberal tax and spend policies.
Can I just jump in for a second before we close? I'm sure you've seen it, but it's the front page of the New York Times. Our viewers can't see it properly, but that's a picture of the egg roll, the Easter egg, Easter egg roll. And
Two sisters.
And there's a little girl crying her eyes out in the New York Times, and I think that's because it is President Trump's Easter egg roll. Am I right?
I beg to differ. I memorized their names, Victoria and Ella, so I'll give them a shout-out to both sisters. I attended the egg roll with my 3 daughters. My son is up in New York for opening day for the Yankees. He missed it, but I tell you, there were thousands of kids here yesterday, and the First Lady especially did a phenomenal job yet again welcoming the nation here to the White House for a very festive, nonpartisan day of fun. And look, egg rolls and not the kind of Chinese restaurant, the egg roll here, and the Easter Bunny, and writing those wonderful cards to our soldiers, a new feature yesterday, bowling on the lawn. All of that made for a great deal of fun. The weather be darned yesterday. But I think even though one was happy and one was crying in that picture, those parents have a great memory of yesterday.
That's good news indeed. Kellyanne, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Stuart. All the best.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.